Welcome to the EE Weekend Preview Show, where our mission is to bring you the best betting opportunities for the upcoming weekend. We call them free squares. The horses, we believe, have a significant advantage over the rest of their respective fields. And each week, our expert team collaborates. We just did that for the last 3 hours, collaborating as to which horses deserve to be on the show. We've got 13 key horses for you from Friday through Sunday at various tracks. Of course, my partner, Oldy. What up, brother?
How you doing, Scotty?
I'm doing good, ready to go. Big shout out to Oldy and Chris and Alfredo. Like it was, it was basically it was like a war room out there. Like, and we just kept shutting down Alfredo left and right. Like boom, right cross, left. Man, he handled it though. Like we've got some horses too. Him and I like to tease each other, as you know.
And Scotty and I have a little bet too for this
We do.
this
We
weekend.
do. We do. We have a horse. You'll have to remind me and everybody what it was. Like you liked a horse that I shut down, and then I kind of liked the horse, and then you said that horse wouldn't run good. So we have a side bet. I think I owe you $2. I think I'm 0 for 2 actually. So
yeah.
Hopefully double or nothing if I can get my money back.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens for sure.
All right, big shout out to Gary. What's up, Gary? Bluegrass Dan, Adarsh, Scott Free. Who else is in the house? Deb Martin, I think I saw. Wiz is in the house. Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Dean, Coach Williams is in the house. Joe, Doug. What's up, Greg? It's good to see everybody. And I listen. I'm loving this format. I think we were a little unlucky this past week because we had, 5 or 6 horses scratch on us.
Yep. Yeah, no, and it's going to happen. I mean, every week we can't predict the future. So there's definitely going to be horses that scratch, but we're still running at 50%. So let's take a shot to get that at 60% this week.
All right. So we're going to go to Friday's races. We're going to go to Laurel Park, race number 2. And, all right, it was the 5 horse, True Sunshine. Let's run the simulator. I'll sort it. Now, we have a horse to watch here in the 2 Sweet Shugs, but we went with True Sunshine, who's 7-2 on the EquinEdge morning line. It's 19% to win the race, being top win percentage and EE long shot. It's 22% win, and the 2 horse has a clear lead. You kind of like this horse a little bit, Oldie, but the consensus was that this horse is going to stop like it usually does, and then here comes the 5, here comes the 4, and we decided that we thought True Sunshine would be. We might even get a price. The horse is 10-1. We really, at the end of the day, wanted to go with a horse that was kind of a price.
Yeah, for sure, and it's dropping in claiming price. Did win against 58s last time out, or 2 times back, so it's getting easier in SOR than a group it already beat.
Yeah.
So, this horse, I think, has a big look as the long shot and, runs very well in the race sim and wins the race sim as well as the long shotter is right there with the race sim with the 2. But, the thing about this 2 horse is it just looks like it stops. And, whether it's against 52s or 54s. So, even though it's a gold badge, I think that the 5 has a better shot here and is going to provide better value on this individual race.
I think so too. And hey, what's up, Chuck? Good to see you. Karina, what's up? Let's just assume the 2 stops because it's going from 4.5 to 6. The 2 and the 4 come out of the same race. The simulator likes it. But the picks like it as well. But this 5's should run. And look at what the races the 5's coming out of. Against a 56 group, 4 back, going 5.5 furlongs. This horse won by 4 3/4 lengths. Jumps to a 60 group, loses by a length and 3/4, goes down in class to a 58, wins the race. Today's a 54, and then last time out lost by 8 lengths, got 5th, but that was a 62 group. So I think we got a good horse here who's got a good shot. Michael Trombetto is a 15% trainer, and Michael Sanchez was aboard for the win 2 back. He's aboard. He's been on this horse 3 different times. And look you have to be able to make sense of it. We talked about this as well. They're dropping in class, but that doesn't really matter because it's dropping 10,000 here. But look, the purse is $33,000, so it's still a really nice purse that they're running for. So I think I would have been more concerned if they were dropping in for 20. To be honest with you, the fact that they're at 30 tells me they still like the horse.
Absolutely, and my other negatives on the 2 and the 4 are they both ship to Charlestown for some reason, and then are shipping back. But why, if those horses were all that, why are they shipping those horses to Charlestown?
Right. Darsh asked about the 3 horse here. The 3 horse needs to be forwardly placed, and it will be forwardly placed, but the 2 is very fast. We didn't feel like the race really played out for the horse. It does have a little bit of class, but even though it's dropping in class, it doesn't move up in win percentage. And the horse is on the inside. It just doesn't look like the race plays out for the horse. So we have the 5 True Sunshine to win the race, 10-1 on the odds makers morning line. Let's head up to race number 9 at Laurel Park tomorrow. And Oldy, you brought this one horse here, and we like this one. I agreed with you on this one. This horse is coming in from Gulfstream Park, and we'll watch the race first. But one thing you're going to see when you're talking about the championship meet from December through, I think it's about April, you're talking about some freaking amazing horses, like the top notch of the top notch over at Gulfstream Park during that meet. You have all the best jockeys, all the best horses, and this horse faced those horses. Now shows up at Laurel Park off of a layoff, has the speed in the race, and you can see the simulator has this horse winning by almost 2 lengths. But what else was it about this horse you liked?
So this horse is really bred for the distance. It is top SOR, top pace, top win percentage, top EPIC, wins the race sim for fun. You mentioned all the stuff about Gulfstream and how it has faced some of the best maidens in the country at that time. It's working pretty decently, and I think gets a group where they may be well bred, but I really don't think there are a lot of high quality runners here.
Yeah.
So, from a mix of handicap and metrics, I will tell you, and I mentioned this in our, what I'm going to call our weekend preview scrum, that horses that win the race sim and our top pace are hitting at about 50% of the time in the data that I've been able to study so far. So the fact that it wins the race sim, you get a horse to watch here as well, and it's 37%, which is above the 28% on the win percentage, plus my 50% number as well. If I was doing Steiner math, we'd be over 100% if we added that all together.
Yeah, the amazing numbers, what you're talking about. And again, this horse has just been facing better horses. That's just the bottom line. And they keep the blinkers on. And there is just nothing like that in here. There's a few first-time starters, but they're going to have to be really, really good horses to beat this horse, who, by the way, draws perfectly. I mean, when you look at the pace number, the only horse that has any kind of decent speed is the 7, and it's the second. The horse has been off a layoff as well, and the horse draws. The horse could show some speed, no doubt about it. But the one just looks too good for this group. Just looks too good. So. Akela is a horse that's 9-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. Look, I don't care for this horse. I mean, look at this horse. It's just burns so much money no matter what. And it doesn't even come close. At the end of the day, it loses by 5, 3.5. So this is the main competition in the race.
And I would say too, if Chad Brown couldn't get this horse to win, now we're expecting it. And look at the works are all 1-star works too.
Yeah, from Bruno. Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to improve this horse off of Chad Brown. Not likely.
Right.
Brittany Russell's a very good trainer, but I don't think so. I just think, and not only that too, look, it's all who you face. And like when I look at these numbers and I see this horse getting bet during this time of year over there, I mean, it's really quite incredible. So, and look at the GSR. It goes from 70 to 79, goes from 9% win. So for a 9% horse to run like it did, it outran its win percentage.
Mhm.
Now it goes to a 28% win, and the GSR or the SOR drops, so the competition's even easier. So I think James Toner is going to have this horse ready to go, and this country is going to be awfully tough to beat. So that's the one horse. Okay. What's up, Stevie? Okay, we're going to go to Monmouth Park race number 3 now. Again, these are all tomorrow's races so far.
Yep. Love this horse.
The 4-horse Spun for Fun. I know you do. There was mixed feelings in the group today on this particular horse, but Spun for Fun, 22%, top win percentage lukewarm, and you can see the horse closes very nicely. This is the wager between you and me.
Yep.
I have the 6-horse here, Sister Nell, and you have Spun for Fun, which you really liked a lot. I struggled a little bit with this, but overwhelmingly the team said that the 4 is the horse to beat. I would just say do an exacta box because I like the 6-horse, Sister Nell. That being said, I got outvoted and Spun for Fun. Okay, now explain why you like this horse so much.
All right, so this horse is a 70 GSR. It is losing 3 points going to turf. Its only turf efforts were against better than this group. And, it's catching actually easier than the group it beat on dirt by almost 6 lengths. And the previous race before that, it beat a group by 4 lengths. So it's almost the last 2 races is won by almost 10 lengths and is catching a group that I think is very weak. It doesn't need the lead. It's tactical. It has a little bit of pace. Is the 5 and the 2 are cheap and they're going to stop and they'll produce enough pace to keep the 1 away from there as well. And the 1's losing 7 points in GSR and just isn't as talented. And so I think that this horse is going to end up winning for fun here at 22%. It's top win and the wins the race sim and also is the top Scotty pick.
Last couple of races, it's won pretty easily. I mentioned in our meeting a few hours that we had, why is this horse in for 16,000 after winning like this? Now it only beat 3 other horses last time out. To be fair, it's facing 8 others this time, but yeah. So and then the what about this one horse that won by 12.5 lengths, albeit against a $7,500 group? But it looked like a pretty strong group at the time. Win percentage is decent at 19%, dropping in GSR some, though. It's going on the turf for the first time. The GSR goes down a little bit, though. The horse was 26% last time out, 19 this time. It won by 12.5 lengths. Is there something here that we should worry about?
I don't think so. I mean, you're taking a significant bump up in claiming price here.
Yeah.
So you're going from 7, you're doubling your price basically. And it was a restricted group. It looks like it had it all its own way and it was on the dirt. And, this horse just isn't bred as well as the 4 is.
Yeah. The thing about it is the one thing I do like is when a horse has back class and which this horse does, to be fair. Sometimes they can refine their form and, I don't know. It's weird. Ward claimed this horse. He's 18% off the Dan Ward off the claim. He claimed this horse for 7,500, and I mean he's pretty good off the claim, and he believes this horse belongs here. So
Okay,
also I will say
go
this.
back and look. He claimed this horse previously for 12.5, and then gave it up for 7,500, and then claimed it back for 7,500 and is moving it to 16K.
Which is super weird. They must have thought they were going to just romp out of that race there. But I will say this, though, and it's important to note. A 16,000 claimer on the turf is probably similar to a $7,500 claimer on the dirt, to be honest with you. So that's just the way that works. You've got, on the turf, like I said, I used to say when I was playing in Southern California races, we always knew that you would see 32,000, claimers on the turf, and then they would go to dirt and they'd run for $10,000. So I think the horse fits here, definitely. But again, you love this 4. The team loved the 4. I like the 6 a little bit. I also mentioned the 1 too. I thought the 1 was decent. Those happen to be the top 3 win percentage numbers. The 9 got a little bit of credit in there, but we thought the wide post. This is the horse is moving up in class. We all didn't love the 9. All right. So 4 Spun for Fun. That's the horse we're giving out for this weekend. Okay, as our free square. Monmouth Park race number 7, the 1.
Looks like it could go gate to wire. Again, same angle with the race sim, 50% of the top pace race sim horses win the race sim. So, you look here, you do have the 9 who has some speed, but the 1 actually can rate a little bit too. The 1 does not need the lead. So if by some chance it breaks slow or there's a horse that proves to be faster, this horse could sit a trip right behind that horse or press and pounce as well, because it does have a win at Tampa in 12/25 of this year. So not 12, February 25th of this year, where it rated.
So
So, and but
I was just going to say, Oldie, that when we were looking over this race, the only concern we had was the speed of the 9 horse, but the 9 is on the outside, where that's the maybe not necessarily to win, but to maybe push the 1 horse. But even if it does push the 1 horse, the 1 horse is just doing so well right now for Kathleen O'Connell, and Maldonado is riding really good right now. And the 1 draws the inside. The 1's going to be super, super tough to beat. We had a consensus here that the 1 was the horse to beat, with a little bit of an asterisk of what that 9 was going to do early.
But I honestly think even if the 9 goes to the lead, the 1 can sit. If you look at some of these other races where, like, it broke slow on April 6th and nearly won that race coming from off the pace. This horse does not need the lead.
No.
And, so it's tactical and it's fast. And those are hard horses to find like that, especially on the turf.
Yeah.
And
it's also a horse to watch. 39%, it's 35%, but horses in this scenario, when they're top pace, top win, EE morning line, lowest EE morning line, and EE top pick, they win 39% of the time at 11% negative ROI, but 72% in the money. The post is beautiful. Again, hopefully the 9 does not press. That's the hope. It really only has one way of going. But again, it does draw wide. And the 1 is equally as fast, but probably a little bit faster. And like you said, I guess if the 9 does try to go, let the 9 go, and and then just sit right off of it. But the 1's a very good horse either way.
Absolutely, and it just ticks so many buttons. And I think this horse, if we get 3-1, I'm going to the bank on that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Justin came with a horse that we discussed, and we all felt like this horse, we would give a horse from Pleasanton because this was a 6. The reason is because the odds maker made this horse 6-1 on the morning line. We have it at 2. It's the top pace, 32%, and EquinEdge long shot. And we just felt like, and the horse doesn't have to have the lead either, but it looks like the horse is going to get the lead and could go on the stretch out. Horse has never gone 1 mile and 70 yards. Speed holds amazing over at Pleasanton. We just felt like this horse was going to be really tough. Gets the lead, keeps it, goes, and then they start coming back. but it depends on how fast they go early, and if they let this horse go. We didn't really feel like the other horses. Like this horse has a lot to prove. Faced a 42 group last time out, similar to today. Yes, it was on the turf, but the GSR doesn't go up, and this horse lost by 10 lengths. Form is not exactly great on this horse, so we thought maybe try to beat this 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 4, this is not a great group. In general, the 4, they thought, that this horse does have a couple dirt efforts and, is getting a significant upgrade in jockey as well. It's the long shot. You're probably going to get a price, and it's a 5% positive ROI.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why we all liked it as well, because of that reason. All right. So we're going with the 4 horse over at Pleasanton. That's tomorrow, Friday. Gulfstream Park, race number 3. Let's get out there. I think this is Alfredo's.
Yep.
So Alfredo has the number 6 in the race. Amy the Butcher. This horse is doing tremendous right now. Let's run the race. I'm going to sort from there. So the 6 horse is Alfredo's horse. It's 3 lengths back in the beginning. There's some speed in this race, though. The 1, 3, and 5. The 4 horse has some speed as well. Alfredo thought that the race set up for a closer, and you'll watch the 6 horse who's going to close pretty good. But the 1, on paper, the 1 shows winning the race. It's 47%. But what were your thoughts?
I thought the 6 was going to get a perfect setup here. You look at this race and you sort by the pace number, and the 6 is pretty much the only horse that isn't going to go fast here, and is going to sit the trip. They're going to run, and speed will kill speed here. The 1 loses Zayas to the 6. The 6 also goes to Safi. First time Safi with Zayas aboard, and they're 25% as a pair. So, there's several reasons to like the 6 horse here. Reyes is a significant downgrade on the 1 as well from Zayas.
Yeah, so Zayas was aboard 2 races back, and it was part of our decision making. We were kind of surprised that Zayas didn't end up, because look at, he won here, and he didn't end up back on the horse, and he ends up all of a sudden on the 6 horse for Safi. Now, here's the thing, though. Safi's taken over for Miller, and and I'm sure maybe this was a private sale or whatever it was. It certainly wasn't off. Look at this horse was in a non-winners of 2 claiming race 3 races back. Next thing you know, is wins an optional claiming non-winners of $175,000 allowance race by 2.5 lengths. Like, what the hell's going on here? So now Safi ends up with a horse, and it just looks like there's so much speed in the race that the 6 horse is going to get the perfect trip.
Yep. Exactly. See it exactly that way.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. So Amy the Butcher is our play. That's tomorrow. Race number 3, Gulfstream Park, the 6 horse. Churchill Downs, race 2. Let's get out there. The 3 horse. All right. What's the story here? This was my horse. Okay. So let's run the race first. So 38%, 3-2 on the EquinEdge morning line. Top EquinEdge pick. The class of the race. Just facing so much easier. The race simulator has the horse pulling away. And holds on over the 1 and the 2.
Yep.
All right, so let's look at the way the race is going to play out. So the 1 horse is a horse that needs the lead, going to be on the inside. This was part of the decision making. Is 32% as well. This is the main competition in the race, and the 4 horse just won easily last time out. Is better good on the lead. I imagine this horse is going to ascend. Now, I considered that the one horse, even if it got the lead, if you look here at even the second call, this horse, the 3 horse, does not have to be that far back. So basically, what you're looking at when you see this, and this is going to be great when you guys have the simulator. When you see this, you look at a horse that can rate no problem, is dropping in class, and if it wanted to, it could maybe even be on the lead, and it's going to be sitting right off of them, and then pounce. I would love to have a little bit of help from the 4 horse pushing the 1, but I do think the 3's long gone.
Yeah, and Walsh claimed this horse, and he doesn't claim horses.
Yeah.
Literally, in the last year, he's claimed 0.
Yeah.
He's
And
he's 0 second, 0 for 0 second off the claim. So, he must have saw something with this horse that they wanted it that badly. You also, and I'm just going to flat out say it, this one's been a terrible breaker. And
yeah,
for a horse that needs the lead to be a terrible breaker, it's going to take itself out of this race.
possibly. That was part of the consideration too. I'm praying for that. Thank you for that reminder. Here's the other thing with the 3. Look, they claimed the horse for 30,000 2 back, racing in allowance races, not for sale, drops in here, but it wasn't that much of a drop because these were non-winners of 1. And then the horse drops in for a 30,000 claimer, gets claimed, and Safi protects the horse in this allowance race. But that was a 60 SOR, dropping from a 60 to a 50. It's a big drop, drops below the claim price, but it doesn't scare me because the purse is $52,000, Oldie.
Yep, those big historical horse racing funded purses.
Yeah,
You're going to get your money for your claim and more here.
yeah, exactly. But these aren't great winners, and I really love it. They're just not. I love the Gaffleon gets back on this horse too, by the way. I think that says a lot. And Gaffleon and Walsh have a 18% jockey trainer combination. It really, if the 1 breaks slow too from the rail, and it's certainly that possibility, breaks bad and then rushes up, and so then the 4, then they're dueling because I don't think the 4 is good enough. This is a big. It did win, but this is a big increase here.
Yeah.
In class. It really does look like the 3 is going to be placed anywhere, saving ground on the inside. He can put the horse anywhere he wants. I think this is an absolute free square.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this horse wins for fun here. I think it's safe to play against Nick Zito for the most part. So I'll take my chances that the 4 runs like it has for most of its races and is a non-factor.
Yeah. I'll give you a horse that I definitely think is a runner in here. I think the 1's going to break bad, and I think that it'll duel with the 4. But I think you're looking at the 3 winning the race over the 2 over the 7. So I'll call my shot now. I'm going to say 3-2-7. So for those of you that want to play exactas, maybe do a 3 over 2-7. I think if you look at the 2 horse, the 2 is a very consistent horse. It broke 8th here against a similar group, went 6 wide. This is a player. This horse can run I just think the class of the 3 is too much, but don't ignore that 2. All right, let's get to tomorrow or Saturday now. We've got so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 horses for tomorrow. And then we have 4 horses to cover for Saturday. Gulfstream Park, race number 9. And was this you or Alfredo, the 1 horse?
This was me, the 1 horse Foxtrot Harry. Gold badge, 32%.
Am I on the right day? Let's see here. No, Saturday.
No,
Excuse me. Hold on 1 second. Race number 9. All right, let's get out there. Okay, so we have a Fox Trot Harry. Let's run the race. Okay, there we go. Talk away.
Yeah, so gold badge, 32% to win, 7% positive ROI on this horse. Should sit a pretty decent trip behind the 2. There's no real speed outside of the 8 in this field, so that this horse should get in a trip similar to the trip that it broke its maiden last time out on. Excellent GSR, stays at 25% to win, where it was 27 last time out when it broke its maiden. And, this horse just looks to me like it's going to get out of the gate. It's going to sit a trip, and it should win this race.
And its main competition looks to be the 2-horse, who's very steady. I mean, but now this horse is stretching out, and the GSR drops to 52, so a 9-point drop. And whereas this horse maintains the win percentage, maintains the GSR, is moving up in class, but did it easily last time out, is lightly raced. Jaramillo back aboard. Really does look like a free square to me. I just don't, some of the main competition too is dropping big time in GSR. So I look at the simulator, has this horse winning pretty easily.
Yeah, and you look at the 2 as an example, and you have a 6% jockey aboard as well.
Yeah.
So if things don't go perfectly for this horse, do you trust that 6% jockey to negotiate the trip? Or do you trust Jaramillo?
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. All right, so we're on Foxtrot Harry to win the race. Churchill Downs, race number 4, the 9-horse. Churchill Downs, race number 4.
Love that horse.
Okay, Too Sharp. Is this you?
This is me, yes.
Okay, talk it out.
Just like me, this horse is too sharp for this group. If you
this is the first-time starter, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
First-time starter, 14%, but look at the works, if we can.
We will.
Once we're done with the
look. Do you see that? Right at the stretch, start looking at this 9-horse close. Like, you don't see first-time starters in the simulator do that very often, and the workouts are just tremendous. Look at this bullet. 1 of 150, 6 of 31 here. A bullet here, 1 of 34, 17 of 166, and look at here, 23 of 181, and look at this, like a bullet here. I think the only thing that's missing. Oh no! Look, what I love is I missed it. That was a gate drill.
Work.
That was a gate drill.
Wow. You're not running 1 of 1 at 150 if you can't get out of the gate.
No. I mean, that's unbelievable. I did bring up a negative in this race, I remember, and that was the only concern, not to be too negative, and that is the 10 horses burn too much money for our liking. I'm not saying I like it. Look at this. This horse has burned so much money. And my only concern was it's so fast. It is a very fast horse that it's on the outside of the 9. And so the most likely, unless the 2 is, or the 9 is just that fast, so the 9 is just going to be better than all of them and just go straight to the lead. And that's a possibility the way this horse is working out. Or it's going to have to sit behind the 1 and the 1's on the inside, so that doesn't matter. But it's going to have to wait on the 10 who's going to show speed from the outside, and the 10's a good breaker. So that was our only negative. But this horse, these are not great horses for your maiden race on a $120,000 purse. The 9's the real deal.
Yep.
Too Sharp, free square.
One more point. Philip Bauer is 30% with first-time starters.
Good call. Yeah, look at that. 30%. Yep. So yeah. 9. 9's the horse.
That's Saturday race, Churchill race 4. I saw there was a question in the chat on that.
Okay, Saturday race 4. Okay, now let's go to race number 9. Now, in this race, we like the 1 horse, Green Light, and we didn't love the morning line at 7-1, but that's because this horse has taken so much of the morning line, the 7 horse, who won a grade 3 last time out, has amazing GSRs, very consistent horse. But we were super impressed with this 10 1/4 length win, breaking its maiden for Ralph Bissett, or Rudolph Bissett, excuse me.
Easy for you to say, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bruno's workout report on the horse has been great. I believe World Record is a pretty decent horse as well. And anyways, Green Light, talk away on this.
Yeah, so looking at Green Light, it's the long shot. It's the top pace by, the nearest pace number is 37 here. So that this horse should get an easy lead. Um, if it doesn't, this horse can actually rate as well as it almost won at
Yeah.
Keeneland in a maiden race where it broke slow. So
Right.
a this horse I think is very live here. 3-1 on the morning line. I think that First World War, you don't even get 8-5. I think First World War goes off at around 3-5 there. So you're likely to get 5-6-1 here. And I think the one has a very good shot to upset and go gate to wire here.
Well, and Oldie, one of the things that's a real positive for a horse like this is when you have when you see this horse go 6 furlongs sprinting in the first race, runs okay. They probably never
Yeah.
were expecting anything. 55 GSR, 3%, gave it some experience. And its first race against 11 horses over at Keeneland, the horse is 20% to win. The GSR jumps up 21 points and runs a second place finish. Okay, so now in the next race over at Churchill Downs, breaks its maiden by 10 1/4 lengths against 10 other horses. Like
Yep.
you're seeing the improvement of this horse. I have a feeling this horse has a lot of upside. I think Jose Ortiz is on a good one. It's the EquinEdge long shot, 27% win, top pace, really good GSR. And it's going to have to hold off the 7, but we think it will do it.
Yeah, and just another point about this horse, it's working really well on dirt, even though it's a turf horse.
Well,
So
that's a great
that's another point in its
yes.
in its favor as
It
well.
is.
And you look at that 1 of 8 work at Keeneland and the Bruno note there, it's working with a really quick maiden in a good
Yeah.
work. So that those are the things you like to see, and you like to see horses that have the ability to overcome things that they may not necessarily like the dirt,
Mhm.
for example.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. This looks like a major player, and first time against winners, and it has a higher win percentage than the Grade 3 winner in First World War. It's a ballsy thing to do to play against a horse that just won a Grade 3, and you're taking a maiden, but this maiden beat 10 other horses by 10 1/4 lengths in
Mhm.
hand, and you can see the how this horse is evolving and the improvement in this 3-year-old colt by Heartspun. I just the green light looks fantastic. So we're all over this horse. Our free square is the 1 horse green light, 27% to win the race. EquinEdge long shot, take it to the bank. Churchill Downs race number 10, and we like the 5 horse here. Hoist the Gold, and we'll talk. Let's watch the race first, Oldie. But this horse is 34% to win. And what's interesting is, I mean, this horse has been racing in Grade 1s. This is a non-graded stakes race.
Mhm.
The simulator has this horse winning as well.
Yeah, and I actually think I mentioned this to you. If you go back and look at the past races, this horse had a much higher pace number, and I believe that this horse is actually going to get an easier lead than the pace number indicates. It'll look more like the uh, the race sim in terms of
Yeah,
that. The race sim sees it, and I just feel like Hoist the Gold. That this is a very, very good non-graded stakes race. It came back very tough.
it did.
Anarchist is good. Um, Close the Game Sugar is a nice horse, but these horses are facing Close the Game Sugar, who's 6-5 on the morning line. It's facing non-graded stakes horses,
Yeah,
and its previous attempt, granted on turf, against graded stakes company did not go very well. So that I look at some of these other horses, and I think Hoist the Gold may just keep running and running and running. And they thought enough of this to run this horse on, in Saudi Arabia. I believe it also may have run in Maidan as well, but that doesn't show up for sometimes in the system. The fact that they felt enough to ship it overseas, uh, you know, I think this horse is sitting on a big race and is going to romp here.
well, and look at what this horse did First of all, off of the layoff, it gets in a grade 1 race, and look what happens. It breaks 10th from the 10 hole and only loses by 5.5 lengths. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no horses in here like these. Well, what you were saying, what happened to Velasquez? Why is Velasquez not aboard?
He is running in Ireland right now.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
he there were pictures of him and his wife in Ireland. Um, you know, it sounds like he's pretty excited about it as well. So it has nothing to do with him not wanting to be on the horse. He's just elsewhere right now.
Well, look at Saez was aboard this horse in 2023 and won the race. So Saez knows the horse. And anyways, I mean, you're talking. Look at graded horses compared to non-graded stakes horses in here. I think
Yeah.
you can. This horse is going to be very tough to beat on Saturday. All right, let's get out to Sunday. We have 2 horses on Sunday. All right, we're in the 30th. Gulfstream Park, race number 4. All right.
All right.
And we have the 5 horse Blast Radius. We've got a bug here. Sorry, folks, with the odds makers morning line for Sunday. Maybe they're not out yet. I don't even know. They might not be.
So, you look here, this is another case where there's a significant amount of pace. And even if there wasn't, the 7 horse, who is the morning line favorite, stops anyways most of the time.
Yeah. So that was what we thought here. So we had a consensus on this horse, and the reason is this horse has burned a bunch of money, the 7. The 4 horse, look at this horse. Look at the money this horse has burned. And then the 5 horse, although the simulator didn't have this, Safi Joseph is putting this horse in. He claims the horse for 40,000, so 41,000 purse. He puts the horse in a maiden special weight, and the horse showed a lot of speed. And before giving up late against much better, drops in class here. Win percentage goes up. GSR goes up. We just think that this horse is going to find a way to win this race. That's all.
And Saez, it also gets Saez as well. We talked about that before. And you look at the maiden effort, and the horse can sit a little bit too. It does not appear to need the lead.
No, it doesn't. And then as far as changes in the race, Zaya is aboard. You've got, I never take this as a positive, but you got, blinkers are added. Lasix is off for the 3 horse. I mean, none of these are really positive signs here, right? So we start going like this, and we start narrowing down the field. I mean, you have to believe that on the drop in class, I mean, this is a big drop from a maiden special weight over at Gulfstream Park to a 35,000 maiden claimer. It's second off the layoff. It had every right to. By the way, how huge did it run? 2 lengths back at the stretch, off of what, a 5-month layoff.
Yeah. No, and Safi thought enough of this to claim this horse. He's got it about it. He tried it in a maiden special weight, and now puts it back at roughly the same price as what it was at Tampa. The purse is bigger, most likely. And, this horse just looks like the type of horse Safi wins with.
Well, and look, one of the favorites is going to be this 4 horse. And look at this. Like, this horse was 2-1, 25%, loses by 3 1/4 lengths. I mean, here, 20% to win. Yep. Good GSR, loses by 6 lengths, had a perfect post position. What happened there? Like that's same here. Look at this. Even money, 6-5. Loses, you're 6-5, and you lose by 8 3/4 lengths. I think, first of all, I think the 7 horse is the type of horse that needs the lead, and it might get it. I mean, it might, but the 3's very fast as well. The 3 might go. This is screaming 5 horse to win this race.
Agreed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. What else we got? That's it, huh? No, we have one more. We got one more.
We have one more.
Okay. Churchill Downs. race number 5, numero uno, Mufasa. We really like this horse. Really like this horse. 15 to 1 on the odds makers morning line. Let's run this thing.
Mufasa. It's even fun to say.
It is.
And we will tell you, Alfredo was able to pull up some videos on this horse.
Yeah.
And he was very, very impressed. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on this horse to go over.
Well, and the thing is this is a foreign horse, and we'll show those past performances. But look at the way the horse closes from the stretch to the finish, like leaving the horses in their dust. And here it is, and I can tell you these races were super, super impressive. I don't know what happened here. The horse, for whatever reason, didn't run good in this race, but the horse is training tremendous. Jose Ortiz jumps aboard. This horse is going to be really. Look at 8 wins and 10 tries coming in here from Chile.
One of 122nd, one of 111 on May 25th with a 4-star work from Bruno.
Let's watch that. In fact, let's watch that. So this is Bruno's workout report on Mufasa, and let's take a look at this horse. I am moving nicely.
Really not asking the horse at all.
No.
We're doing anything to have to keep the horse to task.
In fact, just the opposite of not asking. I mean, not asking at all.
Yep.
And the horse was really picking it up late, which I like. And I'm watching the exercise rider's elbows. Never budged. Just a steady workout. That should be good enough to beat this group of horses. And look at this bullet here from the gate. A really nice workout. I mean, I don't know what to expect as far as speed from the horse. The simulator says the horse isn't that fast, and maybe not early, but look at the one reason why I like this horse too is when you look at the win percentages, the top win percentage is only 21%. Look at this horse. It's also burned a ton of money. And look at the only time this horse won was when it went gate to wire. That's when it won. It's not the fastest horse in the race.
Right. Absolutely. And a couple other points on Mufasa. It is also getting Lasix.
Yeah.
Which we didn't even discuss, which could move the horse a little bit forward as well. Not that I believe it needs to win here. And it's getting blinkers, so it may be a little bit closer as well. So, and, I brought this up in the scrum, but, gets Jose Ortiz too, which I think is huge here. So I think that this horse, and I mentioned this to you guys, this is my best bet for the weekend at 15 to 1.
Well, and look at the jockey trainer combination. Correas, when he has a good horse, who does he put on the horse?
Jose.
28% in 25 tries. I mean, that's just monstrous. And look, Jose rode this horse, the 3-horse last time out, gets off of that horse. He gets off the 5-horse Cyclone Mischief, who really didn't do much, don't get me wrong, for Dale Romans. But, I mean, he is choosing the 1-horse who's training tremendous, has a 4-star work from Bruno, top EquinEdge pick. Like, the point is that you've got one algorithm in the E morning line saying 4 to 1. You've got the jockey trainer combination at 28%. You've got the EquinEdge pick at the top pick. And you have Bruno giving the horse a 4-star work. There's just a lot of stuff that's pointing towards this Chilean bred horse.
Absolutely. And the fact that the Chilean ownership seems to have kept ownership of this horse as it comes over as well, I think is a good sign for the horse.
So Dan is going to be betting this horse at 2:46 in the afternoon for sure. Let's bring in Chris. I'm going to bring in Chris real quick. Chris, where can people get the overall picks here? Can they go on Twitter? Are you going to post it on Twitter? How can they get these?
I don't know. You want me to post them tomorrow morning? What do you want me to do it, man? I'm happy to post them. I've got them all written down.
So why don't you?
I can drop them in the chat here too.
Yeah, you can drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, drop it in the chat. That's actually a good idea. And then also, why don't you send out a post tomorrow on Twitter tomorrow morning so it's fresh and everybody can have that as well. And then so they can follow at EquinEdge. And by the way, guys, if you don't mind, please don't forget to like the show. Click on the bell if you want to get all the notifications of shows. We keep increasing shows. We've got tomorrow morning. We've got the road to the NHC, me and David Harrison, 2022 NHC champ. And we'll be talking about how you can qualify for the NHC. We've already had like 4 or 5 people qualify for the NHC on these shows. So get involved. It'd be great. And then don't forget, of course, the stretch run on Saturday.
Stretch run on Saturday. We got me. We got you. We got David Harrison. We got Justin. Oldie's going to be on site at one of the Hawthorne OTBs. He'll be there with Brad Anderson, BC champion, Matt Miller, BC champion, Howard from the HHH Racing Podcast. So we should have some good content. And he'll be popping in and out with us as we talk about the rest of the races that day. I posted the races there in the chat for everybody. We'll get something out on Twitter tomorrow once we see what the Friday scratches are. We're praying this week, Scotty, we don't get scratched to oblivion.
We did last weekend, didn't we?
Yeah. We did. And we thank everybody for joining tonight. I appreciate you all getting here. Thanks, Bluegrass Dan. That's very nice. I will tell you, and I'm going to use a line that you guys use way too much. So I'm just going to say it. This was a much better debate than the one that's going on right now. So love the content, guys. You guys did a great job tonight going through the horses. And it was 3 hours of contentious.
The scrubs are brutal. I'm telling you.
They're awesome.
I
love so that
brutal.
stuff.
I mean, it's a good thing me and Alfredo were next to each other. I don't know. We could have come to blows. I don't know. I'm like, Alfredo, I'm sorry. I just don't like the horse. And you see the steam coming out of his ears. The horse is going to win the race, he says. I'm like, Alfredo.
And when Scotty says, I don't like the horse, that's a very G to PG rated, more like a G rated version than what he did in the show. So we recorded that tonight, folks.
Oh, shit.
And
that's right.
if we get some good content out of there, we'll cut that if it's good or bad, or even if it's PG-13, we're happy to put it out there.
But, what's your grandson's name, Jay? What's your grandson's name?
Scotty. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
No, he says, thank you. He said, Scotty, my grandson turned 4 months today. What's your grandson's name?
Just tell us that, because bet every horse that has that name in it tomorrow.
That's true too. I mean, you have to do those hunches for sure. Yeah. By the way, here's some updates. So, Ryan, give me 5 minutes. I'll call you back. Bye. So,
tell Ryan to email me. He owes me an email.
Yeah. Well, the reason I picked that up is because he's going to give me an update as to whether we're going to release the race simulator today. We might release it tonight. You might wake up in the morning and have the race simulator. So I don't know. There's no guarantees, but there's a shot. There is a shot where, so you're telling me that I've got a chance.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
right?
Don't forget to text me one way or the other so I can have the adjustment made.
I will.
Group chat for sure on that. And folks, we're really close to 5,000, man. We're 71 subscribers away. Good stuff for everybody to get us to 5,000 subscribers. So get that done. Tell your friends. We prefer over 18 because YouTube likes that. So don't sign up your kids.
Listen, by the way, if there was ever a movie star name, it's Jackson J. Okay? I love the name Jackson. Jackson is badass. I tell you, what up, Jackson? Happy birthday, young man. And future horse player in the making. Awesome. Seriously.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And anyways, guys, it's so much fun doing this. Like, I'm having the best time doing this weekend preview show. So thank you guys. I love you guys. I love the passion. The EquinEdge community is just absolutely blowing up. I had a really good meeting with Santa Anita today. I haven't had a chance to tell you guys because we've been so busy fighting in the scrum, but had a really we had a really good meeting with Santa Anita, and there's some big plans with Santa Anita that I can't wait to share with you, share with everybody. But just so you know, a lot of people are taking notice of what we're doing, and every time they mention, you know what they say? Man, the EquinEdge community is amazing. So thank you all out there so much. Could not do it without you, sincerely. And yeah, so some big plans, and we just got to keep on pushing it. So if we keep on doing that, my job is to just keep on bringing you guys and delivering you guys new product. That's what I love to do, anyways. The other good news, if I didn't share it with you guys, is we have a new data scientist, a new machine learning specialist that is going to be working full time with yours truly, building new products, new designs, new things. Like, we are the leaders in the market in bringing technology to horse racing, and we're going to continue that, just so you know. So we're completely committed to bringing that to you guys. So we appreciate your support. Like the show. What did I miss? Anything?
No, I think you covered everything, Scotty. We will, Gary, we will keep doing these shows. More to come. We're working on some things for the summer that we don't want to like get people hyped up on, but we're optimistic on. So, should be good stuff. Join the coaching class tomorrow night. There is. Let me just grab the link while I have everybody here.
Well, your coaching classes have been classic on Fridays. By the way, I do Thursdays. I did today at 1:00. I had 15 people in there. We take a maximum of 20 because we really like it to be more of a boutique type of thing where like people are asking questions. It's pretty cool. And so, but you can go on. It's free to do so. It is such a cool experience, and it's super important to be able to talk to like-minded people and learn how to use EquinEdge, because even though we know it's easier to use than most platforms, it's still new to use, and so there's still a learning curve.
Brandon, I can address that tomorrow night in the coaching class. There are the links. There's 3 seats left. Sign up before it gets sold out. Last week we were sold out. We gave out 19 of Matt Miller's books.
That was nice. That was really nice.
A better way of thinking, betterwayofthinking.com. Go look at that for tomorrow. Buy the book. We don't make anything off the book, but the book will help you. It simplifies a lot of things and just makes the betting part of this easier. I mean, we went through a lot of handicapping stuff tonight. That's like, to me, 30% of it. The 70% is how you bet these and how do you cash. Brandon, great you're signed up. Chuck Brower. Chuck's up in Saratoga, great NYRA expert, and he will talk about any Gary Contessa horses that are running tomorrow or this weekend. So I think that's a wrap, guys, right?
I think that's it. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm having such a good time. Like, Gary, I remember back in the days when I was in California in Newport and I started doing the shows. And we just started building up that community, and you guys were a part of it from the very beginning. And Scotty was there, and Bluegrass Dan and Chuck, and it's just amazing. The people, we have to get together. We said this before, and I know it's tough to coordinate, but somehow there's got to be, like, every 6 months there's got to be a place. Like, first of all, the NHC is a perfect place. In March, we should like literally. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to set something up. By a show of hands, would anybody come to Vegas in March next year and come to the NHC and we could get a big banquet room and have everybody together? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think we're in for sure to do that, because we know we can broadcast from there, which is great. And, we can find a place to go and kind of, hang out and bring the group together and have a little, I guess they call it a mixer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, do me a favor. Make sure that in our meeting, we actually talk about this and we figure out how to do this and set it up where we can get everybody there and really, really do this. A couple of years ago, we had probably about 15 people show up in Vegas. We had the best time. We really did. It was really great. And I tell you what, if you've not been, you should want the excuse to go to NHC anyways. The NHC is just a blast. Absolutely. Right. And you remember that, Dan, when I was in So Mike Trout moved in at the time. He bought a $9 million home, and I was literally probably 4 doors down. Now my home wasn't $9 million, but and Mike would be outside playing catch with his buddies all the time. And it was just really great. And he seemed like such a good dude. I can only imagine that $9 million home now, because that was before COVID. Yeah. So it's got to be, I would imagine, 20 million minimum. Nice investment.
Yeah. So how much was your mobile home worth?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we have in Florida, man. Yeah. I drive down where you got a nice lake and whatnot. You'll have some $3.5 million thing, and like 4 doors down, man, there is a mobile home right there on the water and whatnot, with all kinds of different flags. It's an interesting land here we live in, Scotty. And
yeah, it really is. I love the days too, guys. Remember when I was working at TVG doing the quarter show?
Yeah, I remember trying to beat you every night. I'm like,
yeah, right.
I can beat Scotty and Les. My ticket will pay something.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about Les. So Dave Weaver is hosting. I'm a guest. I'm in the middle. Now I've been on like 3 or 4 times now, and and Les. I mean, God bless him. Like, you want to talk about the hardest working guy, but you guys, you should see. He would have his form out, and he would have probably 10 different colored markers. How he knew what each colored marker was, I'm not joking. I would look over like this next, because he's sitting next to me, and I'd be like, how does he do that? Like, but I mean,
was he a track announcer? Because that's what they do.
No, he was just sick. Anyways, I remember his story, and I was always respectful, but he got mad at me one time. I got too competitive with him. So I'm sure, yeah, I did. Yeah, it's not like me.
No, not at all.
And so what happened was he started it. And believe me, I haven't talked to Les in a couple of years, but I talk to Les a lot, and I love Les. And but he goes, I'm on air, I give out a horse, and I'm like, this horse is great, this blah, 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 blah. And he goes, just like this, he goes, why do you like that horse? That horse has no shot. This is on air. And it caught me off guard. All of a sudden, my chest popped up like this, and I'm like, and then I'm not even looking at my horse anymore. I'm looking at his horse. So I go, who's your horse? So he goes, I like this one. I'm like, I'll tell you what. And I said this on air live. I go, not only is my horse going to win, and I genuinely didn't like his horse. I go, but your horse is going to come in last. It's like, you should have seen Les. He's like, anyways, the race went off. My horse won. His horse got last. True story.
Well, Scotty, I will tell you, and I'm using it now, which I shouldn't be, because I just mentioned that. The best score I ever had at Los Alamitos was in 2017, the Champion of Champions, when Mr. PYCTU won at 60-1 from the 10 post. And I singled that horse. Singled it. It was a single for me. I played longer throughout the whole thing. It paid buckets. The only thing I didn't have that horse in, I didn't play the pick 6.
Yeah.
Pick 4, pick 3, the late double. Everything was geared toward that one horse. And I remember it was late at night. I had to go in and wake the wife up. And she's like, why are you waking me up? And I was like, look at the phone. And she was like, oh.
Let me tell you something. There's so many talented people that got their start over there on the quarters. You're talking about Todd Schrupp worked at the quarters. Mike Joyce, of course, was a staple. Who?
Dave Weaver. I mean, those guys were my staple. Back in those days when I was playing the quarters, I was doing it through a Dish Network set-top thing where I could plug in a phone line and bet via my remote control.
Yeah.
Thursday night couldn't come fast enough because Santa Anita back in those days, they ran Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday was always during the week. And I'll tell you a fun story about that.
Still is during the week.
Yeah, they started on Wednesday and was during the week, and you had to work, you couldn't do anything, but Thursday night was great. But we ended up with an offshore place that allowed us to bet the races, not legally, of course. And we would listen to the race call on the radio. And they didn't shut the window until the half-mile call.
Oh,
so, and we were myself, I was just trying to make a minimal amount. We had a couple of other people that were betting, $25 tries and stuff. And that lasted for about a week and a half before they just shut us all down. I got paid because I didn't get nuts. The guy that made 47,000 in 4 days. Yeah, they were onto that shit. So
yeah,
good stuff.
I do remember that, Dan. I remember. So I decided. So me and Dave Weaver have been friends a long time, and I decided that I was going to call Dave.
Yeah, that was great.
Remember that? And I put the phone up, and I was going to put it so everyone could hear him, and I was going to bust his chops about something. I forget what it was, and instead, it's his voicemail, but it's him saying, "Leave a message." It was the phone number. It read out the phone number, and it didn't hit me at the time to just shut it off because I'm just not used to it. Not nowadays. You're not used to repeating back your phone number, right, on the voicemail. And so anyways, gave out Dave's cell number. This was one of the first shows. He laughed about it. It was so funny. But yeah, that was so classic.
I have texted with Dave since that day. So Dave's a fan. Dave's a fan of a horse that I owned from Los Al after he was tired of Lord's Table. The 700-yard specialist. And just won a ton of money. I made a ton of money on that horse, and I gave it all back with Aftercare because he was retired. We got him. We moved him to Florida. Super horse. The wife rode him for years. We could literally let him go a mile away from where his barn was. Yeah. And he would just run the route to get there and go right to the food and eat. It was
incredible.
I got tons of videos of those. So,
wow, so smart.
Yeah, he was smart. He was a winner, and he was fast. He had the world record at that distance for about 2 years. He was.
By the way, Oldie, can you remind us all what we're hitting at so far? We've had 2 shows of the weekend preview show. What are we hitting at?
We're at exactly 50%.
So we're 50% winners. And do you have any idea what in the money we are?
I don't, Chris. I don't know if you were tracking that, but I did not have that. But I think it's pretty high.
70 and 75%.
Okay.
Last week the scratches was just awful because
the scratches really hurt.
They scratched most of the horses we really liked, super liked, and our longer prices still hit the board, but just couldn't get there, and we had a lot of troubled trips. All kinds of things. That'll happen. We're 3 weeks in. I have the list. Once we get through this week, we'll make sure we put out a comprehensive tweet and video on where we're at. So
okay. It's over at the Horseshoe Casino in Vegas.
Yep.
The Horseshoe Casino. And so we're going to start making some plans and get the community, and hopefully we can get a bunch of people from the community coming and support us. I've already qualified. I have an NHC seat. I know, Oldie, you're trying to get one, right?
Well, we'll see what happens this weekend for sure. Okay. And then, I'm working on that in the BCBC seat.
Okay. And you're talking about the Hawthorne tournament, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me ask, would you choose the BCBC because it's more money over the NHC seat?
I don't. So here's the thing. If I went on Saturday, there's no BCBC seats. If I went on Sunday, I have the choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully I'll win both days, and then, then I'll get both, and that'll be the end of it. But I'm facing some of the best handicappers who have ever existed in the world. So, I'm being facetious when I sound cocky like that. I don't really feel that I.
That's not true. That is not true. You are a super handicap. Listen, I'm cash tournaments. I was winning almost every other tournament I was playing in. I was in the money in all of them, and right now I couldn't I can't even win a race in a tournament right now. So we all go through that. And so, no, I mean, I couldn't be any colder in tournaments right now. And I'm doing well in the NHC, the NTRA tournament tour, but don't ask me. All of a sudden now I'm capable of playing in the mythical tournaments, and the cash tournaments I can't do anything in. Who knows? Like, it happens.
One thing you learn in the book, and I've learned from Brad over the last couple of years, is you don't need to play in an organized tournament. You can create your own tournament in your head. I'm going to start with $500, $750. My goal is to get to 10,000. That gets you a BCBCC, and you can do it all on your own. You don't necessarily need to enter one to get you there. Create your own. Figure out what your budget is for the day. Find the races you like, and then figure out what your goal is. And when you figure that out, what your goal is, hit your goal and then move on from there. That's the name of the game, not to try and, sit there for 9 hours a day and churn everything and play 289 bets. That ain't gonna work, man. That's unsustainable.
So here's the leaderboard. So I'm in 4th right now. So in the last 3 weeks, I have not scored at all. But guys, I have been right there in so many of the tournaments and did not get points. But the leader is Roger Satina, who's got 20,000 overall points. Greg Lewis has 18,564. Matt Thomas, 17,102. And I've got 16,987. So I'm right there. I could get in the money in 2 tournaments this weekend and be right there too. So I'm not really stressing about it. It did stink, a couple of times. I had a tournament on Friday, I think, this past weekend where I needed to be 9th and I got 13th. I needed to be 9th or below and I got 13th. So, that's going to happen, but super happy. I'm super happy about that. But nonetheless, guys, big shout out to Alfredo, to you guys. And I appreciate you guys, Justin as well, of course. And you guys do an amazing job. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And then don't forget, tomorrow morning, NHC champ David Harrison. I'm on with him at 11:30 in the morning Eastern time. So, guys, have a wonderful rest of your night, okay? And we're going to close it out here.
All right, I'm hitting the button now. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.